Okay, here we are again. Tonight we're going to do a painting of some random flowers. I don't know. They're kind of fun to do. Where you just take a piece of paper, you don't draw on it, nothing preconceived, nothing on paper, nothing ready to do. We're just going to sit down and we're going to paint and we're going to have fun. That's what I like to do best. I don't feel constrained by lines. I just let my imagination go wild. Okay, this is what we're going to do to start. Just wet our paper. This is just a piece of 140 pound Strathmore 400 series paper, using a Princeton Neptune mop brush just to get it wet. I'm going to take happens to be a number 8 brush. I'm going to get a little red on it. Here's my palette. You can see it's already messy and dirty. Didn't really clean it from last time. I'm just going to get a couple of different colors of red here. I'm going to kind of vary this as we go along. And I'm a little too wet. That's alright. You just do that. Totally fine. Not a big deal. I'm going to drop some red on in a few places here. No big deal if it runs a little more than we thought or we wanted. Not a big deal. We're just going to roll with it and let the paint do what it's going to do. You're going to see why it's not going to matter here. I'm going to mix a little bit of this yellow. It's got a little bit of green in it. It's going to run around some of this red. See our yellows, our greens we're going to put in here. We're going to put some blue in here. It's going to chase a lot of this red away. We'll never really even notice it. All this extra red, not a big deal. Okay, I've got a little yellow on there, which I'm going to kind of use as a bit of highlight. I'm going to put a little bit of green on right around some of these. I want these kind of to look like a few leaves on here sticking out every now and again. And you know what? I've done this to you a second time already. I am painting right side up for me and upside down for you. I should be painting it this way. I apologize to you for that. I don't know what we need. I just need to pull a different color of green in here a little bit. It might be just a bit strong. And just gonna get some in here. And before my paper dries a little bit, I want to get a few blues in here, a little darkness like this. You'll see how very soon everything is going to run together. And wow, this looks like a hot mess up here, doesn't it? Maybe we'll come in and fix some of that up, maybe we won't. I'm just going to paint a little blue right over the top of it. When it's all said and done, it's not going to matter. Nobody will notice anything about it. If you don't tell your friends that that's not the way it's supposed to look, they will never ever know. You won't have to say anything to them, and they will still be wondering how you've done such a fantastic painting. You feel free to keep them in the dark all you want about that. Okay, here we are. Here's our first coat. Okay? And I know it looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It looks horrible. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's going to turn out great. You're going to see. All we have to do now is from these red spots figure out where our flowers are. And I can tell you that right off the top, I can see that right here, there's a leaf and a leaf here and a leaf here. Before this gets too dry, I just want to go back in and drop in the indication of some outlines. See, this leaf I don't think is real well formed. It just kind of falls out like that. There it is. There. That whole thing comes out like that. Sometimes I go back in with a little bit of a yellow color just in the center. Put in something that'll lighten that up ever so slightly. Yes, we have this back here. We can, that's probably from a different flower. We can just put a little bit of a leaf in there. That's fine. I'm going to draw this out just a little further. We know where that leaf is, that petal. We can leave it like that. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I would say that this one looks about like this, right? With that base color, it's just that. It's a base color. It's a guide for us. It doesn't set it sets the tone, but it doesn't tell us what we need to do. And look at this. Right away, you can see where that flower is right there. Maybe I'll put a little bit of that yellow right in the center again. And on this side over here, I hate to do this. Everybody says you shouldn't do this, but it looks to me like maybe we have two flowers over here. I say people say you shouldn't do this because that means we're going to end with an even number of flowers. Look, that leaf, that petal is a lot bigger over there. So we can even this out just ever so slightly. Let's see, I'm going to put one right. That's where it is, right there. I can tell exactly where it landed. I'm just going back in, getting a little bit of paint on here. You can make the edges of yours here a little firmer, a little straighter if you want to. Oh, I forgot I got some yellow, just some light, something in the center there to lighten that up. Okay. And now we wait for just a second. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers. The next thing I'm going to do, actually I'm liking at this point in time, I don't like that we have such a divide between the two sets of flowers, but it doesn't bother me all that much. So I like the flower shapes. I like how they've come out. So what I'm getting ready to do is I'm just waiting a little bit. I don't know if you can see how shiny and wet that paint is. It needs to dry up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to put on with a little watercolor pencil the little stamen that's on the inside of the flowers. It's going to make it jump off the page. You'll be able to see exactly where the center of that flower is. You'll be able to see exactly where the leaf is. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to look over here. Well, I'll just pull my whole set over here. I have a whole Stettler set of watercolor pencils here. I think I'm going to pull this one out. I don't know. These don't have a color written on them. This is a 23, color 23. I don't know what this is. I'm going to draw a few lines back here with it and hope to. I don't have it quite wet enough. I should be able to just see lines. I think you can see that. I should be able to just see some lines if I do that. I want to color a little bit with this, and if I do, it'll just give the indication of some lines on there. I can kind of guide that water where I want it to go and tell it this is where the edge of the leaf is. Give it some little bit of veins in there like that. Right, maybe I should have sharpened this just ever so slightly. There you go. And we're not quite there yet. Still just a little tiny bit wet. I'm going to lift off a little bit of the centers of these just to help them dry out a little bit more quickly. It's not really, ooh, that one got a little bit too much. It's not going to matter that much, but I'm going to flip these over for just a second so I can get a good look, and I'm going to draw in stamen just like this. This one, I guess, this one goes this way. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use this as a second little one right there, and that gives us 5. And I've got some right here, and when you look at it now, you look and it looks like 5 little flowers right there. Beautiful. It could be better. So I'm going to turn the recording off. I'm going to let it dry, and we're going to see what it looks like when it's totally done. Okay, here we are. We're back. You can see we're not quite dry yet, but we're pretty close, and I think it made some pretty nice flowers. I have no idea what kind of flowers these would be. They're just some random flowers came into my head. I basically threw some color down on the paper. I'm going to sign this one. Call it good. Like I said, some random flowers came into my head, drops of paint. We made them look like $1,000,000 bucks. There it is. Thank you.